Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. I'm Tom Gresham. If you want to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. By now, you should be probably overwhelmed and really tired of hearing about the midterm elections. I don't care, because you still have to hear about it some more. It's really important. It's good stuff. I mean, it's good stuff because I think it's moving in the right direction. Having said that, I don't want anybody to get complacent and not go out and vote. We'll talk about that in just a second. But joining me right now, it's a real pleasure to have the United States House of Representatives Minority Whip Steve Scalise joins us right now. And Steve, I only got 2 words for you. Go Tigers.
Tom, I tell you what, first of all, I think I was getting texts from about 49 and a half states last night. All of my colleagues around the country, and half of Alabama was rooting for LSU last night. I was at the game. It was energy like I haven't seen since I've been on the road campaigning for Republican candidates all across the country. But a lot of fun and a huge win for us. With guts from Coach Kelly to go for 2 and get the win. And
yes,
he's been a phenomenal coach, getting the team better each week. And we'll look out for the Tigers. It's a great time to be a Tiger fan.
Real.
It's a great time to be a Republican.
Yeah, they are for real. So, all right, you are like the busiest man in politics right now. We've got 2 days before the election. The word is that it's a red wave coming, but the fear is don't let people get complacent. So what are you seeing out there right now? What's the realistic view?
Well, first of all, you see incredible enthusiasm behind our Republican candidates in every part of the country, including places you wouldn't think are likely to go Republican. I mean, I've been in every corner of the country. I was in Portland, Oregon a few weeks ago, where I really think we're going to flip 2 seats from Democrat to Republican in Portland. You look at New York. I was on the East Coast last week, all the way from Connecticut through New York down to Florida, and we're going to flip a lot of seats in those states. And you might expect, Florida, we could gain 4 seats in Florida, and what's going on with Ron DeSantis and the wave there. But, New York State, I was not only campaigning for a bunch of our candidates, and we can flip 3 or 4 seats from Democrat to Republican in New York, but I was with our candidate for governor of New York, Lee Zeldin, who's a current colleague of mine. We had over 2,000 people at a rally we did Wednesday night with Lee Zeldin in Long Island, New York. And I mean, my gosh, the energy there. People want to take their state back. They're fed up with crime as well as inflation. Same thing in Portland, Oregon. I mean, whether you're in Portland all the way over to New York, people are fed up with crime, what this far left socialism is doing to our economy. I think you're going to see people voting in record numbers and voting Republican. In many cases, for the first time ever, we're seeing first-time candidates. Myra Flores in Texas, we could have a full red wave across the Texas border with Mexico, where we flip seats from Democrat to Republican with some of these great Hispanic Republican candidates we have running, from Myra Flores to Cassie Garcia to Monica de la Cruz. And I think all of them have a great chance to win. So it's happening. It's real. It's all across the country. And it's exciting to be a part of. Tuesday night's going to be a fun night, a late night, but it starts with everybody voting first. Make sure you vote. Make sure you get your friends to vote. Like the future of this country depends on it. Like the Second Amendment depends on it, because it does.
Let me ask you something. At a certain point, we talk about, well, why are people doing this? And I know I've seen some of the Democrats kind of pulling back. You've got people like Tim Ryan pretending to be a gun guy and putting stupid videos up like they always do right before the election of, look, I know how to shoot a gun. And yet you had yesterday, Joe Biden goes to Pennsylvania, and he's saying, John Fetterman, this is a quote, will be in the Senate, will be able to help me add one more thing. What I got done when I was a senator, ban assault weapons. And then Biden continues, he says, ban them, ban them, ban them. They have no place in America. Are they that tone deaf?
It's unreal how out of touch President Biden is with middle America. And, you've seen their agenda just wreck middle-class families, lower-income families. Whether you're going to the grocery store and paying too much more, whether you're going to the gas station, and they're practically bragging like, hey, prices aren't that bad. Maybe for Joe Biden, who flies around on Air Force One, telling you to drive in a Prius by yourself with 3 masks on. People are fed up with this, the hypocrisy of it, and the tone deafness of it. But let them Let them keep talking about things that don't matter to real people, because we're talking about the pocketbook issues that people are struggling with every day, how we can lower inflation, how we can lower energy costs, how we can secure our border and address crime in communities and defend the rights that we have and our freedoms, like our Second Amendment rights, like our freedom of speech that's under attack in so many places with the cancel culture of big tech. All of this is what we've been running on, what our candidates are running on, while they're talking about things that are just, divisive. President Biden keeps giving more speeches trying to divide America down the middle. People are fed up with that. They want to actually get an economy that works for them, get a country that fights for them.
What happens to the leadership? What happens to Steve Scalise when the red wave comes in?
Well, obviously, if we win this majority, which, again, I'm very confident we're going to win a lot of seats, not just the 6 that we need to win the majority, but I think we're going to win a large majority, and then we'll fight over, frankly, I don't even think we're going to fight over. We'll work through what those new titles would be, but we're going to have new responsibilities too, and part of that is what we're going to do starting in January to address the problems that all these big government socialists have created. It'll be a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I've been campaigning with a lot of candidates across the country, and you could see the focus in their eyes. They're ready to get to work. A lot of them are military veterans who served in combat in foreign lands, and they know the fight for freedom is here in Washington, D.C., and let's go get this country back on track. And, we'll do that with new titles, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Even if you're controlling the House and very possibly, I think probably the Senate, you still have the White House and you have the veto going on there. I mean, some people say, hey, gridlock is good. At least we've stopped the bleeding at this point. Is that kind of the feeling that, maybe we can just do good work by stopping what they've been doing?
Yeah, and I think people are realistic about what's in front of us. I mean, Joe Biden's still in the White House with all the leftists that are running the country over there, but at a minimum, stop the bleeding. No more of these trillion-dollar bills, $1.9 trillion, paying people not to work, bailing out failed states, passing Green New Deal kind of radical policies, all this gun control they've done, more than doubling the size of the IRS to go after small business owners and single moms working 2 jobs at a diner who they think isn't paying enough taxes. I mean, this is the stuff that people are fed up with, so we can stop that. And then we can pass good bills, Tom. We can pass bills through the House to show the country how to address inflation and the higher cost of everything you buy and how to secure the border. And if Biden's the one standing in the way and he's saying, I'll veto the bills, okay, well, at least now we know what we need to do in 2024. But at a minimum, stop the damage, show the country how we can fix these problems with bold conservative ideas that have been proven to work every other time. But right now, obviously, we're on the outside looking in. That will change Tuesday night.
But you got to vote. You got to vote.
Simple.
There
People
it is.
need to vote. And again, we're seeing record numbers. You've seen it in states like Georgia where they changed their law to address voter fraud, and you saw Joe Biden, again, dividing the country, lying. He actually tried to call it Jim Crow 2.0 and voter suppression. Well, guess what, President Biden? They've got record numbers of people voting in Georgia. They're just not going to be voting for socialists like Stacey Abrams. They're going to be voting for Herschel Walker, and it drives them nuts because now they don't know what to do when all these people are voting, but they're just not voting for socialism. People are fed up with socialism.
There you go. Steve Scalise, thank you so much. Minority Whip, probably majority something or other pretty soon here. We'll keep our fingers crossed. And thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it.
Always great to be with you, Tom. Let's go vote Tuesday. Let's take our country back.
There you go. You take care.